Well, hello my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Well, I just had to take just a few days off again. It's just been so hot. And so I wanted to make sure, look, the first thing I want to know, do you recognize me? Without my Clairol? Oh my gosh. Well, I have plenty. I had some Clairol, but it's just so hard now the older you get, because I do my own hair. And, I'm old school, so I still relax my hair and put my color in, sit with the bag on my head, the whole 9 yards. I'm telling you, it's an all-day thing because I have a lot of hair. It takes all day. I even do my little cutting and trimming. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to just take 2 steps out. If I leave the color off, I'll see how bad the gray looks. But that saved me at least 2 steps. So what do you think? Do you still recognize me? Maybe I should put my sunglasses on. Well, how's everyone everywhere? I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. We are in complete meltdown mode here. I said in my video, a little later you'll see in the tutorial, if I was a popsicle, well, I'd be all melted away. Because that's how hot it is. So I got to make this quick tonight. I'm just popping on just so that you can see I have a finish. I have my finish, and then plus I have a nice crochet tutorial. Even in the heat, the show must go on. And believe me, it's a show tonight. Well, like I said, I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's fine. There's nothing we can do. We're still just shoved in place. And I don't know. My mojo hadn't come back. I hadn't heard. I've been messaging, texting, calling around. But you know what? I put the word out for a new mojo. And I've interviewed some mojos, and I think I've got one. Well, the new one that I'm working with, my new mojo, she doesn't know how to quit. She doesn't know how to go to bed. I'm exhausted. I am knitting. I don't know how many sweaters she's had me to start. Start this one. Now here's one right here. Start this one. Now to crochet this. I'm saying, hold up. Who's driving this train? Look, it's either the mojo that's left or this new one. But I'm telling you, even in the bed, I'm thinking about, she's got me thinking, okay, now we can do this and this, and then tomorrow when you get up, I'm exhausted from my new mojo. So we'll see how long this lasts. So, alright, because it's hot, so let's get to it. Okay, I have a finish. Ooh, had a little fuzz there. This was my New Start shawl. That's right. New start, new shawl, new mojo, new Jay. No. I tell you where I'm new at. I'm new from my waist up, but I'm telling you, my knees and things are not new. Whoa. Some of you should have warned me, Jay. The knees and the hips and the back. Alright, let's get on with the show, Jay. Stay focused. Alright, so here is my shawl. Just very simple. Had a little lace. I'm not going to do a whole lot with it because I've done it on the tutorial. Has a pretty lace, very long. You can wear it. Let's see if I can take this off. Just sit it over here for, it's just very basic. But the whole idea was to just get back into just starting fresh, something simple, easy stitch, that anyone could do. See if I put my flower back on. Stick my flower back like that. Let's see if I got it on there. And just a fun stitch. And then this stitch is leading me into the next knitting tutorial, hopefully next month. I remember we were going to use the same stitch, and I was going to show you how to put it on the edge of a sweater. Oh, I think you're going to like it, but be quiet, Jay. You tell all your secrets. Okay, so real quick, let's see, can I do a change without getting off camera? Maybe I don't have to reset the camera if I do it. Now this is part of this tutorial that I'm making, and I'm calling this little wrap, this little shawl, Count Your Blessings lace shawl, or something like that. We'll see. You know, I always change my mind. Alright, so now that's a nice little shawl we have, just to kind of get ourselves a new start. So I'm going to lay that. This is the knitted one. So now this tutorial is crochet. And I forgot to show you, I forgot to share, I have a little bonus, but I forgot to put it on there. So after this, I'm going to have to stay up tonight and put the bonus on. This is Jay's, wait, let me get my pearls up. So you can see them, I just kind of tuck them back in the back like that. Oh, look at that. Now this is the bonus. This, which I forgot to film, so I'll have to film it real quick before I go to bed tonight, because he'll pick it up tomorrow. But this is Jay's Crochet Count Your Blessings lace wrap. Count Your Blessings lace wrap. And just to remind you, I've just put a pretty little picot lace on the edge of a pretty little, here's a collar that turns back, a little double crochet, and these little picots represent all the blessings. Even in this time, even what we're going through, we still have to stop and count your blessings. What do you think of that? So, this is just cute little neck warmer. This is what you can do with leftover yarn. This would be pretty in a lot of variegated yarn. So if you have maybe a half a skein of variegated yarn when I go through it, or a whole skein left over from something, this would just be fantastic. This little neck warmer, little shoulder warmer. And I'll give you all the information on that. Like I said, I forgot to put it on the video, so I'll film it right quick and make it at the very end, and I'll call it a bonus. What do you think? Isn't that pretty and cute? Just real simple. I didn't add any buttons or anything. I added a little fringe. I just like the cleanness of it. I like the look of it. So this leads me into, alright, let me change the camera right quick because I need to put on the larger wrap. Be right back. I'm back. Okay, so I'm back with Jay's Crochet Count Your Blessings lace wrap. I wanted something really simple. I wanted something to be able to just, you know, since we're sheltered in, there's not many places to go. But I have ventured out to, you know, just a little, you know, maybe Joann's. I've done that. And just a couple other places. But when it gets cool, I just think it would be nice to have something. I'm not a coat wearer, unless it's just absolutely very bad weather, really, really cold. So this, I thought, would just fit me. Now I'm going to turn around a little bit, see if, without changing the camera. It's kind of mid-back, so there's not going to be a lot of, you know, bulk trying to get it in and out of my car, trying to sit on it and pull it up and do all of that. I can just get in. It's just right. Has some pretty easy, simple stitches. Has a beautiful collar if you really wanted to turn it up. Look. Fillet crochet collar. Let's see if the camera will pick that up. Strike a pose, Jay. So, what do you think? I think this will be a good way to get the fall. A lot of you know it as autumn, but here in the States, we normally call it just fall. And I can already feel it at night. Not in the daytime, but at night. I can feel it. I'm going to talk up because I had to put my fan on. Otherwise, I was just going to melt away. But you know how you get that feeling? That little touch of a breeze or coolness at night to let you know fall is on its way. And I thought, what better to have something already done, simple, quick and easy, easy stitch, easy wear, easy care. This wrap. And when I take you to the counter for the tutorial, it's done in 3 steps. Step 1 will be the collar. We start at the collar with the fillet crochet stitch. Then we will simply go into the body, right here, all of this area. And that's just simple American double crochets. You know, you might be a triple crochet person. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can change up for yourself. You know, I'm short, and one of my YouTube friends says, Jay, from now on, when we need to adjust our patterns, we're going to call it fluffy upgrade. So if you have to make a fluffy upgrade from what I'm showing you, feel free. But I thought, you know what? I just need to make a nice little simple upgrade of a nice... Oh, and real quick before I forget, it also, when the pattern made a high-low, it's high in the front. I'm trying to sit back. And then it goes low. You probably can't see this. I don't know if I stand. Well, you'll see it on the counter. But it makes a pretty little high-low where it dips down with the fringe right here in the front. And of course, step 3 is adding the blessings. All the little picots. You know, thank you that so far my family is doing well. Thank you that, you know, we're able to not only help ourselves, but to be a blessing to our neighbor. Thank you that, you know, my children are doing fine. Just sometimes you just have to do it, people. Sometimes you have to look at, and not look at all the stuff going, all the crazy going on around. Sad, but it's true. And like I said, this is such a, and it's not heavy either. It's not heavy. For when the weather change, it will be, I think it will be just perfect. So, do you want one? Do you want to crochet one with me? Would you like to go ahead and, this would be pretty to put up for Christmas. Oh my God. Now you can change the color. This would be pretty in a Christmas color for someone, like you said, that's older like us and maybe not into so much of the trendy and can't take the large maybe wraps or shawls. You know, maybe just a little something, like I said, to come down the center of the back, about the middle of the back. But this is really just perfect. Warm on the shoulders, on the arms. Just pick another color. Pick a pretty Christmas color. I might even do myself one in a, well, I think an off-white would look really pretty. Wouldn't it be pretty? Look, just one more thing that we don't have anywhere to go. Look, Jay's all dressed up with nowhere to go. But that's okay. So, all right. Don't have anything else to show. Yeah, I bought a little yarn, but I just made myself go out and just do something. You know, sit and I had to make myself go out. And so I brought it home, and look, I didn't even open the bag. I just threw it over there on the pile. I'll get around to it on down the road. I'll think about, oh yeah, I bought that yarn about a month ago. I'll check it out. But in the meanwhile, I want to thank you for just waiting on me. I thank you for coming and just sitting and let me chat just a few minutes. Hadn't talked to anyone. You know, when you don't talk a lot, you start to lose your voice. I know my mother-in-law, you know, back in the day, because when she was by herself, she just didn't talk much. You just lose your voice. But you came to just sit and chat, let me chat with you, and give me some comments. I didn't put any buttons on this or anything. Like I say, you know, I like clean lines. I really do. Wish I had clean lines in my house right now. I got stuff I need to be cleaning, but I'm just too tired and too hot. Whew. I'm a fall cleaner, not a summer cleaner. Okay. All right, the first thing you'll notice, I was trying to show you when I was wearing it. Maybe if I turn it like this, open it up. We're going to start, and let's see if I'm backed out enough. Yeah, I think so. Now I have the window closed, but you might hear a few night sounds. I try to do it in the cool of the night. All right, this is done in like 3 steps. Step 1 is we're going to start with the collar. Here's the collar of this wrap, and of course you should recognize it as simple fillet crochet squares. I call them little boxes. You can see them all along. All right, and then the next section or step, the next step we will go into is just plain regular double crochet. US double crochets, whatever that is anywhere else, but just, you can see it's just plain, and this is going to be left to how this fill is just how wide you want it, depending on how tall you are. I'm short, so, you know, I don't know, I did about 20 rows, maybe. 20 rows. But, like I said, you could change any of this at any time. And then the last step is step 3. And it's simply the pretty little, nice little border, little edge, little picot edge. Let's see if I'm too far away here. There we go. To kind of give it just a little decorative border, a little decorative edge. And that's it. So, 1, 2, 3. Very easy, very simple, and that's what I was going for. You don't need a lot of math or anything. I'm going to walk you through how simple it is to just come up with, you know, the measurements you need and how to get started. My first wrap, I use Caring Simply Soft, you know, my go-to yarn. It's smooth and soft like the Soft Secret, but it's not crinkly, you know, smooth, so it gives great stitch definition. So you can see any stitches, so, you know, I use it a lot. This color is Autumn Maize, just right in time. I'm ahead of Labor Day. So you can get this done and just put it away for the first time you feel a little cool in the air come fall. We call it fall or autumn. Isn't that pretty? All right, and now the next thing we're going to use for this, we're going to start with an eye crochet hook. What is what's the numbers on that? Y'all know I don't ever. Okay. Here's an eye. It's a 5.25 millimeter. An eye 5.25 millimeter hook. That's where we will start to do the collar. Step 1. Step 2, and the rest of the wrap we will be in, I need the J. What's a J millimeter? Oh, I don't have one over here. So J, whatever a J is, my numbers have rubbed off. I've used this hook so many times. But anyway, we will move up to a J to finish out the rest and to complete the wrap. Alright, so now we have some yarn, we have our hooks, and there's nothing else to do but let's get started, and we will be ready to work on how to, well, first of all, we got to go through the steps, how to find out your size, or how to figure out how many chains we need to do. All right, back in just a minute. Now, let's find out how many chains we need, because I just work by repeats, or unless I really don't have to count chains, I just like to make a long chain, and then I just slice and dice that chain up and to make whatever my design I'm going to use. So now here's your body, and what you'll want to do is to take we will start with the eye crochet hook, with the eye, the smaller of the two, the eye. Now my letters rubbed off. And I want to simply make a nice loose chain, and I'm going to take this off, and let's see, can I see? Yep. I want to make a chain. Now I'm like barely 5 feet, so I'm going to make a chain below my waist and come around, go up around my neck, and then down the other side to about, below my waist. Now, if you're, of course, everybody's taller than me, but if you're anywhere but 5'5", 5'6", 5, if you're tall, you need to make your chain long enough. You may even have to go from one knee up around the neck and down to the opposite knee to get the length, because this fillet crochet, believe it or not, will eat up a lot of yarn. But you will, once we go to the double crochet, it will add back length. But to get started, you simply make a long chain. And like I said, for me, I'm short. I went from my waist, below my waist, around my neck, and down here. And then I'm starting my fillet crochets. For the one that we're working, this one, let me just move this for a second. You may not be able to see this. Let's see, can I hold it up? Let me just check. Yeah, that's good. All right. When I got through with all my boxes, I had at least 80 of these little squares. See those little empty boxes? That's the fillet crochet. Even for my short size, because this stitch will eat up a lot of the yarn, I found that I needed 80 boxes. 40 boxes up, 40 boxes down. Does that make sense? So you will be able to count, but you need a long chain so that you don't have to stop and pull out and go, oh man, because you're going to be able to go to the mirror as you make the chain, of course, and hold, put it against your body and around your neck. But once we start the fillet crochet, you will be able to take it to the mirror and see if it's going to come down and stop where you want it to stop. If not, and if you didn't make enough chains, then that means you have to pull out and make more chains. All right, so let's get started. So I am just working on my little practice chain. I'm using the eye crochet hook, and I'm making the chain. And then, like I said, I went from my waist around my neck down the other side, and I suggest putting a few extra chains. It doesn't hurt to have more than what you need. Now on my practice chain, you saw I kind of held it up to my little figure there. And so first thing I want to do on step 1 is to do a little border. I want to do a simple crochet border, and I always use, in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, in the 4th chain, I will do a double crochet, and then a double crochet in the next chain. This is simply, I pretty much start this way. I like to have a little border on each end and not just start with a stitch. So now I have what you would call 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we simply go into the fillet crochet, and for this one we're going to do the very basic. Chain 1, then skip 1 chain on the bottom, and double crochet in the next chain. So it makes an empty space. I call it an empty little box. All right, now guess what? Chain 1, skip 1. And this is what we're going to work all the way across. Chain 1, skip 1. Chain 1, skip 1 on the bottom, double crochet. And we'll pull a little yarn here, all right? This is with the smaller hook, the eye. Chain 1, skip 1. Chain 1, skip 1, then another double crochet. And this is what you should have. You have a soft 3 double crochet border right there at the beginning, and then you have all these little boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. For me, going back and forth to my mirror as I made my chain of fillet crochets, I would stand in front of the mirror and put it around my neck and see where I wanted my the front of my collar to come down to. Nice, long, pretty collar. I didn't want it down too low, but I wanted it close to my, say, a little around my waist. So it turned out, like I said, about 80 of these boxes. Just go ahead and say 80. I may have gone over a little bit, but I'm sure I had at least 80. So now you will find out how many boxes you need and make it an even number. So 80, 90. You know, if you're getting up into 100s, you got to be tall. You got to be tall like some of our friends on YouTube, you know, maybe close to 5'9", 6 feet or something like that. All right, so that's what you want. Now I'm going to work my little sample chain, and then I will be back. And we need to get to the end because we need a border on this end. All right, back in just a minute. All right, so I've kind of worked my little practice in real-time chain across, and so now I'm pretending that I've been to the mirror, I've put it on my body and all of that, and I decided this is where I want to stop. I have a nice even number, whatever that number is. So when I decide I want to stop, I go to the last box, this very last box, and with this last double crochet right here, I go right into the next chain, make a double crochet. So this last double crochet part of this box counts as 1, 2, and then I make one more double crochet into the next chain, so that I make this end 1, 2, 3 double crochets, match how we started the row. 1, 2, 3. And this will give a nice edge, and plus we're going to add our little decorative stitch, so it gives it stability to your wrap. Now guess what? You simply chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you notice hopefully you'll have a few chains left so that you don't have to pull out. But I chain 3, and then of course I turn the work. All this is step 1. We're making the collar. This is at the top of the wrap. And then I stack 3 on top of 3, or just stack. There's the first double crochet and the second one, and now here's the third one. So that I have 3 on top of 3, just like that. Now, go back into chain 1, skip over to this double crochet, put a double crochet. Now I have a box on top of a box. And now we just start the process of working across, stacking on top. Chain 1, chain 1, go over to the next, stack the next double crochet, chain 1, go over, stack another double crochet. I'm all tangled up in my yarn. All right, can you see that? And later we will, once we get up a little bit, a little further, you can mark the back side. This is a wrong side. We're not counting by row. We're not worried about the rows now. We're working in these steps. The collar is step 1, then the body will be step 2, and then the little extra trim is step 3. So, but as you can see, everything stacks on top. So I just continue to work across. Now, of course, you have a long chain to work across. And you can always, before you go too far and do too many rows, always take it to the mirror. Like I said, this stitch eats up, very simple stitch, but it will eat up a lot of your yarn. So it's just good to, before on this long chain you're working on, go so far and go and kind of put it around your neck, go to the mirror, and see if it's going to fall where you hopefully want it to fall or to end on your body, the bottom edge. So I chain 1, I skip over, and I just keep going across. Now when I get to this end, I go all the way. I go double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then I do 3 double crochets. I stack those 1, 2, and then into the post 3, chain 3, turn, and you repeat. Now, for my collar, I did, maybe I should get this out just so you can see where we are, what it looks like. This is the sample. Here is the real collar. And I suggest at least 12 rows. 12 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 12 boxes up for most. If you're taller and you're really, like I say, if you're much taller, try 14 rows. 16 rows is going to give you a really nice big collar if you're nice and tall and you have room to wear something that large. But for me, 12 rows, and for most people, small, medium to large, whatever, 12 rows should work just fine. So that's what we're working in step 1. 12 rows of nothing but fillet double crochets on your eye with your eye hook, the smaller of the two. All right, I'm going to work a few rows and then I will come back and show you the transition to step 2. So far, easy peasy. Okay, so now we're going to pretend a little bit. I have my little real-time sample that I'm just working, and you are to, this is step 1 where we're working on the collar. And like I said, I suggested 12 rows if you're short, if you're under, if you're around 5 feet or 5 feet, in that. If you're taller, you may try 14 rows up of these fillet crochet boxes. Or you may even try 16 if you want if you're really tall and you need a nice wide collar. So we're just talking about how tall you are now to figure out how many rows of the fillet crochet that will work or look good on you. Just go to the mirror and keep putting it up to your body. Alright, so now we're pretending that I have 12 rows. 12 rows up. Now this is when we will change to, this was step 1, the collar. So in my pretend we're done with the collar. So now we're going to move to step 2. So we can start the body. Just a regular double crochet stitch. This is when you will change to a larger hook. I'm going to use the J. I'm not really, I don't use a K a lot, but J, just going up another, another size will, it will work fine. All right, so here I go. So I am working, and I have just finished my 12 rows of the fillet crochet. Now I want to stop the collar and start the body, step 2. So I chain 3, 1, 2, 3, with the larger hook now. turn the work, and I'm going to start with my 3 double crochet borders, just stacking on top, just like we were doing before. See, I can already feel the difference because this hook is a little larger. So now I will have my 3 stacked on top of 3, my border. Can you see that? Alright, now I'm going to, we want to keep this row right here. See, see those boxes there? That I want a separation between this little border and then all the rest of the double crochets. It's going to create an eyelet row. So I chain 1 and I go to the first double crochet here. Just like that. Now I start adding new double crochet stitches in the spaces. Double crochet in the space. No more chain 1s, we're just simply doing a regular double crochet, US double crochet. Then yarn over, go through the next double crochet, stack on top. Then go into the actual space right there. So we're adding double crochets now. Then double crochet in the next double crochet, and then now we're filling in the box with 1 double crochet. A double crochet on top of the double crochet, and then I put 1 double crochet into the box. Let's just stop and look. Now here is, you will chain 1 and keep that last row right before the border. You will keep that eyelet row. So there's some separation. So let's see, I did 1 in the space, so now I go to the next double crochet, then into the space, then into the top of the double crochet, the next one, now into the space, into the top of the next double crochet, then into the space, into the box. Alright, let's see. So now you see I have a nice smooth row. Now let me tell you what's going to happen. As you continue across, because you have a long chain, you won't see it that much on my little sample here because it's not very long. But as you continue across, you will say, oh, uh-oh, Jada, like I'm doing something wrong, because you will start to see a slight wave, not a deep ruffle, but a nice slight curve as we're adding all these stitches into the box and the double crochets as you work across. That's what you want. You're adding stitches, and this is what is going to make the crescent shape in the back of the wrap. We went from a size I hook to a J, and now we're filling in all the boxes, the spaces, and that's going to give you a nice, just a nice wave effect because we're adding stitches, and that's going to create a crescent shape. So as you work across your very long chain, I will work across. Well, let's see if I can. Now, I'll just get off camera. I'll work across, and I'll see you at the end of the row, and we will, well, you'll go to the end of the row, chain 1, and then stack 3 double crochets on top of 3. All right, I'll see you at the end of the row. We are working step 2, not row 2, but step 2. Working the body now. All right, back in just a minute. I'm coming up to the end of my little sample. Of course, like I say, you have a long row of boxes to fill in. Just stacking double crochets on top of double crochets and 1 double crochet into the box itself. So we're actually increasing. So now I'm coming to the getting close to my border. I go a double crochet into the last box right here. Then I double crochet into the next double crochet. Now I'm up at the last box before the border right there. You see that? I want to keep this row open. So I chain one and then just go on over to the border and stack a double crochet. That's one, then two, and then one double crochet into your post, into your end post, and that will make 3. Let me get it in here. Let's see, can I do it again? This crochet hook is not very pointy, it's very smooth. Let's see, can I go in from this way? Okay, here we go. So now I have, let me just move my fingers. Now I have a border, the 3 double crochets, just stacked on top of each one like before, but I have kept this row right there open. So now I simply chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This is step 2 now, working the body. And as you can see, it's going to start to get really start to get full without us doing anything else. Alright, now when I chain 3 and turn, I stack the first 3, which represents my little border. Then I get to that first box right there after the border. I chain 1 there to keep it full, keep it open. And then now you're gonna, on your long chain, on your long chain of all these double crochets, now you just stack double crochets on top of double crochets. Just like this. Working across the row, you are working with the larger hook now. But you can see how I have that row open there and then double crochets. We don't have to do any more, any kind of other increase. It is going to increase itself every row you work. Let me get a little more yarn. I'll do a few more and then I'll work some off camera. You're just doing your regular, I'm doing a US double crochet into each double crochet across. And since your chain is real long, you can see how many you have. It has gotten much longer, and can you see? You can see a little bit of the wave on mine. Let me lay it down. You see, you will start to get a slight wave as you work across, back and forth, just simply doing the double crochets in each double crochet. Chain 1 to skip the last hole, and then add the 3 double crochets up for the border. Chain 3, turn, work back and forth. Now, I suggest I did at least 20 rows. You can, if you're taller, of course, you may try 22, 24 rows. This is just something you're going to just kind of hold it up to your body, and just see how it fits, because you're going to have a collar by now, so you can roll the collar back. Where is the sample? Because I'll work some off camera. Alright, so this is point. Also, right now, when you are, hopefully you can tell if you're new, but most people can tell on crocheting. Alright, this is the front of the work, and you can tell by this bottom row here. See that? And you can see the little extra chains hanging off that side. So when you turn, you can tell that this is the wrong side. As soon as you start working the wrong side of this, you need to mark it, because it will come in handy a little later. So you see, I still have my marks. I don't even take them out. I see one came out, but you put it right back in. So you just take some contrasting yarn and a crochet hook, and just like you do a piece of fringe, and put it in. And since this is going to be so long, I marked one on this end so I didn't have to look for it, and then one on this end. And I knew immediately that I'm on the wrong side, even though we're just simply doing double crochets. But it's just important once we get on down that you know what's the right side and what's the wrong side. But what I was saying is, as you continue across, look how long it just starts to, since we added all those, here's where I added those crochet stitches in the boxes. And it just made its own increase. And it's going to cause this to give a nice soft, you can just see it, just a nice soft crescent type shape. Alright, I'm going to work some off camera. Like I said, I went from where I started, step 2, the body. I worked at least 20 rows. I want you to be on the right side, however many rows you work or decide to work, of just plain double crochet back and forth. Okay, when you get ready to stop, make sure you're on the right side, because you're going to mark the wrong side. Make sure you're on the right side so we can go right into step 3 and add our little beautiful picot detail work. Alright, I'm going to work off camera a little bit. I'll be back shortly. Alright, so I'm working across, working the body section. We're still step 2 where I'm just working the double crochets. So what I'm going to do is, let me just work. I'm on the wrong side, and as you notice, I've already put my mark in. This is going to be important. You will need it. And for your long, since your chain is so long, I'd put more than one. Put maybe 1, 2, 3, you know, just so that you don't have to look for this this reminder that you're on the wrong side of the work. Alright, so I'm coming up, and I have double crocheted, then I've got up to the eyelet row where I chain 1, and then I do the 3 double crochets, or the 2 double crochets, and then I do 1 into the post right here. So that means I have 3 stacked on top of 3 right there. Can you see that? Now I'm going to turn the work, and I will be on the right side. So now we're going to pretend. Remember, I did at least 20, I believe 20 rows of this double crochet. You do as many as you go to your mirror, look at it, put it around your shoulders as you're working row by row, and just make sure that you're on the wrong side when you get ready to stop. So, okay, I've worked as many rows as I want, so the next row is a right side row. I hope I said right side. And now you should be able to see how you can, with this your long chain, now you can lay it out and you can see, gee, it's just curved. Gives you a nice little soft crescent that just looks so nice on the shoulders and coming around the front. Now, we're going to transition from step 2. Step 1 was the collar. Step 2 was this double crochet the body. Now, step 3 is our little fun section. And if you hear a little roaring in the background, it's not my fan or anything. It's a rainy day in Georgia. We have had rain almost every day. It's been like Florida weather. You know, whenever we go to Florida, we always notice it would rain in the afternoon. Like, do y'all ever just have a whole day with no rain? Well, this whole month of July, and I'm trying to think back if we had the same thing in June, but the whole month of July, it has rained almost every day. Not stormy, well, some few storms, but so you can hear the rain gently just falling. Everything is so green. Oh, and so pretty. All right. So now when I turn the work, I'm still working on the J, the large hook. I've not changed anymore. When I turn the work, well, let's chain 3. When I get to this last 1, 2, 3, chain 3. Now I've turned the work. Now we're going to put on the little simple border. the little decorative stitch at the end. But I want to go ahead and stack the first 3 double crochets on top of each other, just like we were doing the border. So you do that border, just like that. There they are. Then you're going to chain 1. I'm going to take this ring off. Chain 1 to get over. And in this first double crochet after the space there, okay, I do a double crochet. Now hold it with your finger. Just hold that and then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now go back into the place you were holding down here where you started and single crochet. Do a single crochet, not a slip stitch. Do a single crochet, now chain 1. This is where I make my picots because it keeps them standing up and they don't look like they're all hung over, or they just look so nice and fresh and nice, and you'll see it. Alright, so now I skip 1 double crochet. You see there? There's the next double crochet. I'm going to skip it. I'm going to do a double crochet in the next one. 1 double crochet. Then I take my thumb or finger or whatever and I hold that stitch right there. Now I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oops, slip that 4. Then I go back to down where I was holding, because sometimes you can't find it. And then I do a single crochet into that little place. You know what a single crochet is. And then pull through. Then chain 1. The chain 1 helps you to skip this next double crochet right there. You skip that one and you double crochet into the next one. Double crochet, hold it, chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go down to where you were holding that little space, that little stitch. Do a single crochet and then chain 1 so that you can skip this one. Skip the next one, double crochet into the next. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into the bottom there. Do a single crochet, not a slip stitch. Then chain 1. Then we'll stop a minute and let you see what we have. We have the border without any, we didn't want it on the border. We started it right after that little first box, first space. And then there are the picots with a space in between. Alright, so let's continue. After I chain 1, I skip 1 on the bottom. I do a double crochet, hold it. Alright, chain 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go down to the where I started. Do a single crochet, pull it tight, and then chain 1. Alright, skip 1, go to the next one, double crochet, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet down at the bottom of where you're holding your finger there, single crochet, and chain 1. Pull me a little more yarn. Alright, I skip 1 and then I double crochet, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, go to where you're holding it, do a single crochet into that stitch, single crochet, not slip stitch, chain 1, and then you're back in pattern. And let's just stop a minute. And then once, this is what you should have. You will have a beautiful kind of curved back, and then this is just going to follow the curve of your double crochets. Alright, I'll get to the other end and I'll be right back. We're almost home. Alright, I'm coming up to the very end. of my sample, and hopefully you have worked across your long chain and you can see everything coming together. I'm at the last couple of last picot or so. Now watch. I double crochet, and then I hold it, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go down to where I was holding that stitch, do a single crochet there, and chain 1. And hopefully you come out that you will just skip the next double crochet, and then you will do a double crochet into the one right before that space, that chain 1 space. If not, we will fudge it, or we will we'll just go right over that space. But here I go. I'm double crocheting there, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, go down to where you were holding into that stitch, do a single crochet, chain 1, which gets you over the space. But say for instance, maybe you miscount and maybe say, oh Jay, well then just go ahead and let's see. Well, I can't think of what scenario. Let's see, if you had an extra stitch, I would just skip. That's all I would do, as long as you could go make sure that you have your 3-stitch border. I can't think of any scenario, because we did a even number of boxes. Like I said, I had 80. So you could have done 70, or you could have done 90. Alright, and then I do my 3-stitch border right there. Pull it up. Now we're at the very end. I still have my 2 borders match each other right there. I've got that space there before the border, and I have my border on this end. Does that make sense? So here we go. I'm pulling this up. Let's see if I can get it on camera so that you can see. Now that looks a mess, doesn't it? What I want to show you is how this front will, once you put your little edging on, then you have this nice little dip in front, this little point. This is where you could hang, if you like tassels. I just do fringe, but you can do really pretty tassels. I'll probably hang me a charm or something on here also. But I put at least 10 strands to make fringe to put right here on these 2 edges on the front. Let me pull this one up. Here's the other one. As I finish up, and I connected it and really try to give it a little weight so that this nice little point kind of pulls down. Now, this creates a high-low in the front. So if you think, oh, well, it doesn't, no, it's a high-low. It's high right here in the center. Let's see if I can get it on camera. Can't get all this on. And then this section, okay, that looks good. Let's see how I'm doing. Yeah, so you see how it comes up. This is the way it's going to look on your body. It'll come up front, and then you have this. Here's the 2 collar that are folded back right here. See there? It comes up, it's high-low, and then it goes softly down this side. So what do you think of that? Now, I don't really know if I want to. I just think that's getting too out of date and just not, I don't know, to put, but you know, it's your choice, to put buttons here or something like that. I kind of like the clean look of it. Maybe I might tack it down. Maybe, you know, I could, if you want to have your collar always in the right place. I don't see any reason why you can't take yarn, the same yarn, maybe some of the leftover fringe that you'll have, and just tack it, you know, tie a little and knot it on this wrong side, kind of going up. I would just do it in places. I wouldn't actually sew it. Just tie a little knot here, go up a few more, 5-6 inches, put another little piece, if you want to always make sure that your collar is always in the right place. Does that make sense? Instead of having a button here. But now some people might like to come up with a closure. Or a pretty shawl pin. Of course, you can always use your shawl pins. But mine was mainly just to have something to slip on my shoulders. I could not worry about trying to, sit on a point, trying to get in and out of my car and trying to watch the point if I had done the point. This just comes and rides just so pretty right up on the back. It doesn't go too deep. So when you get out, it looks nice. Looks nice, neat. It's not too much. It's not too cumbersome. And it stays on your shoulders really nice because of the nice little curve and the drape. Well, I hope you give this one a try. Remember, it's Jay's Crochet. Count your blessings. And I could just look at these little baubles and I can just picture these as, maybe right now things, things may not be going your way, but look at all the blessings. So just think of that. I've had a lot of good blessings come my way. So then just now that you're in a down place or a place where none of us wants to be, but hey, this too shall pass. So I hope you give it a try. I hope you enjoy. Count your blessings wrap. And be sure to send me pictures so that I can add them to my friendship album. I want everyone to see. Did you see my new friend Gloria Parker? Oh, and that wasn't all the pictures. I still have a few more. So I tried to be, I tried to put enough to make it exciting, but not just to overdo. So I will have other pictures of hers to add throughout, rest of the year. But she had been making things and had just never sent me pictures. And I think she said her daughter enticed her, said, well, why don't you send that lady pictures? Let her know all this stuff you've made using her designs. And man, when I got it, it blew my mind. So I instantly messaged her back and said, well, instead of picking one and two here and there and not wanting to ever make sure I didn't lose anything, I said, I'm just going to give you your whole video, all to yourself. And I found some pretty music, and I hope she liked it. And she sent me a message, she did. So you too can be a bright, shining star. I can't take pictures from other people's sites because it's not my design, and that wouldn't be right, to put it on my, So, but if you would take the time and you do anything off my, channel and anything of my designs, and you put your own spin on it or whatever, change it up, do whatever, but it needs to come from something I've done or share it with you, then yes, please send me pictures. And now I think people are really getting into staging their pictures a little more. So put some little accents, some flowers, some things, a bird, a plant. Do something. Make it look really pretty and special. Because you are a bright, shining star. You, everyone. So I hope you get pictures from you. And I will be working on the next friendship album for Labor Day. So until then, this is Jay. This is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. Take care, and I will see you later. All right, so I wanted to come back and give you just a little bonus. As you can see what I was wearing on the intro, I had this little bonus, and I have just almost forgot. So, let me just kind of share with you, walk you through. This is the exact same step 1, 2, and 3 that we did on the larger one that I just shared with you. This is just some, like I said, this would be a really pretty leftover. If you had a skein, this one skein or something, maybe you had some expensive yarn and where you didn't have but one small skein or something, that would be nice if you wanted to use it for that. So let me take my flower off, and I will put that right up here. Okay, so let's take a look. Well, first of all, of course, like I said, it's small. But I would still try to do, on the larger one, we did 12 rows of filet crochet. You will start with an eye crochet hook. Start with a smaller hook for the filet crochet, which is going to help draw the shawl in to help make the nice crescent shape when you get to the double crochets. But as you can see, I've already demonstrated all of this. We're just kind of going over just to make it a little smaller. But I would still stick with it, at least 10 to 12 rows of the filet crochet on an eye hook. Then, just like I shared, you will go into the body, which is just going to be double crochets. Double crochet, row after row after row. Now, I was trying to hurry up so I can get this video, so I didn't do many rows, but I would try to do about the same number of rows that I have here. If I did 10, I think I'd do 10 here, just to give a nice balance. But you can try anything. If you just want 5 here, if you want 6, you can do anything you want. And it depends on, like I said, we're using up leftover yarn, maybe a skein, and maybe you don't have enough to do, you know, a whole lot of rows. But you do need a lot of rows for the collar because it has to fold back. You see the difference? So you want to put more yarn here, or more rows, so that your collar is wide enough to fold back on itself. And then if you have just a few rows, like I had to do here, that's okay. Then at the end, I shared the nice little bobbles on the end. The Count Your Blessing bobbles. Count my blessing for all my YouTube followers and friends and fans. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, to all of you. So, and of course some tassels on the end, tassels, or I just put fringe. And that is just a nice little way to, I don't know, go through your stash, find something. Like I said, this would be beautiful in some variegated yarn because we don't use our variegated yarn a lot. A lot of you buy it, but then we get stuck with it. We get stuck with just skeins of variegated yarn. So you try some of that. You know, maybe the person you know likes green and you have some variegated yarn with a little green and some other colors mixed in. Wouldn't that be pretty? You know, maybe the person, maybe a person you know, let's try a different flower. How about that one? Maybe a person you know likes a little, I don't know, gray. Maybe you have some variegated gray. Wouldn't that be nice? So it's just endless. It's 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. 2 hooks. When you change to the double crochets, just go up to a larger hook size, because this filet crochet pulls in, but the double crochet pulls out, so it gives you this nice little crescent. Can you see it? It gives you this nice pretty shape without having to really do any extra work. And it will go, you know, the first one you'll just take your time and kind of get it and see and, you know, try it on, go to the mirror. And, let me see how many boxes did I do on this one. Let's see, can I count real quick? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I think I did about 60. I think that's what it was. So but make sure the boxes, when you do your filet crochet boxes, like I shared on the first part of the tutorial, make it an even number so when you get ready to do your picots, it comes out right. It should come out right to the end where you're going to do that chain 1, skip that space, and then do your 3-stitch border. So that's the only thing you have to do. There's not, like I said, not a lot of math, not a lot of hard pattern to remember. It's just a fun way to use up yarn. And I know you have yarn just like me to use up. So this was Jay's just little bonus, Jay's Crochet Count Your Blessings. We'll call it a mini Count Your Blessings lace mini wrap. We'll call this the mini one. Just because it felt great on too. Like to keep the air off or something around your neck. A neck warmer. So give this one a try too. And of course, please send me pictures. I can't wait to see your ideas of how to use this simple combination of 3 stitches. And so I will just wait, and I hope you take care, and I will wait till hopefully I can hear from you. Give me some information down at the bottom in the comment section. And of course, like I said, send me plenty of pictures. And look, get you some old pearls and get you a flower. Hey, you can even get a bird to decorate your pretty piece, your pretty neck warmer or mini wrap. All right, this is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, bringing you a bonus pattern just because I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you later.